Public Affairs programming on WQPT is brought to you by the Singh Group at Merrill Lynch, serving the wealth management needs of clients in the region for over 25 years.
They've taken the pulse of the community. Now what? And he gave voice to the Golden Girls. Now he wants to relate to an aging child actor. It's all in the cities. PJ Lasker was involved in two sitcoms that are fondly remembered by many of us, The Golden Girls and Barney Miller. And now he has a new character he wants you to meet in a world premiere coming to a stage here in the cities. That's just ahead. But first, what do we want? What do we need? And how are we going to get it? Back in April, the cities came together for the Big Table discussions, designed to get people to open up about their vision for the cities. We now know the results from those talks, and joining us is Greg Aguilar, who is the director of the Chamber of Commerce's Q2030 initiative. Thanks for joining us.
Absolutely, Jim.
You guys certainly think it was a success. You had about 5,000 participants, so that's a big deal in April.
Well, the goal was 500 tables, 10 participants per table, and we had 508 tables, and some of those tables got so large that they had to be split up into 2 or 3 different ones. And so we're happy. Well over 5,000 Quad citizens came together to talk, to get to know each other, talk to people that they knew and people that they didn't know.
They were talking not at each other, but together as one voice, or how do you see this happening?
So depending on the table, there was some tables that were public, open to the public, that you just did not know who was going to be there. So some would be at the libraries, others might be at a church, and you showed up to get to know each other. Now there was some that were really wanted to talk about specific issues, maybe workforce or developing a neighborhood. But it was whatever the table wanted to talk about, and that's how we handled it.
Well, last week you came out with the results of the survey, because out of those 5,000, you got about more than 1,700 surveys back. One of the things you still see is that the river still divides us, seemingly. I mean, time and time again, when they're talking about unity and inclusiveness, one of the things they do point out is that there's that Mississippi River there.
It's awesome to have the Mississippi River, because it brings us together, because the results showed us that people are very proud of the river. They want to see more development happen on the river, but Quad citizens also recognize that there's a divide there. Some might look at what one side has versus the other, but Quad citizens want to see our region come together to develop projects together to enhance that riverfront.
Is it kind of pie in the sky thinking, or were there actually concrete ideas that, yes, this is the pathway we should take, or yes, this is something we should consider?
Various ideas came that I think are doable. Some of them say, hey, can we bring art to the riverfront, give people a reason to come down to the riverfront? Can we create more walking paths? Can we create a walking path that's going to unite both sides? But by getting people out of their house, getting them in the community where they can engage with each other, we can start collaborating and create a more, I guess, equitable and inclusive community.
Well, you're taking, and community is the word that you want to use, because you're trying to talk about people. But it's interesting is that there's 2 big issues that always seem to come back. One is the loss of youth. People move away. They don't stay in the Quad Cities necessarily. The other is the increase in, how do you say this? The job sector isn't necessarily manufacturing, but ideas industry isn't growing as quickly as some would like to see.
After the Big Table, Augustana College decided to bring community leaders, major employers together to talk about what can we do to retain young talent. And that's what we're really excited about with the Big Table, is tables have continued to meet to create solutions, for example, with attracting and retaining young talent. What came from the conversation after the Big Table and into the larger conversation is we need to do a better job as businesses, nonprofits, and community leaders to engage with young people, make them aware of the opportunities that exist in our community, and also show them pathways for them to reach what they want to reach in their careers. But it starts with talking, getting to know each other, sharing those opportunities, because that's huge. We have to retain the young talent, especially those who have recently completed their education. We want them here. They can make it here, but it's up to Quad citizens to show them how they can make it here.
Well, let's stick with that, because you guys didn't necessarily do that good of a job there either. And the only reason why I say that is because I noticed that of the surveys, 100%, only 9% of the surveys came from people 25 or under. I mean, is that an apathy thing? I mean, do you really blame, do you really blame that perhaps you didn't reach out well enough, or do you kind of say, well, wait a second, this is a generation that isn't really necessarily interested in this?
Inclusion is a big part of what everyone was talking about at the big table. Everything we do moving forward has to be more inclusive and has to be equitable. We were very happy to see that some of our numbers of our multicultural communities were high. So we were very happy with that. But that's why we're also going to meet again to say who is missing. How are we going to engage with a young Quad citizen under the age of 25? Are we even speaking their language? And that's something that we noticed from those results and we want to improve on for next time.
Yeah, so how do you speak their language? I mean, in a way, is this a generation that doesn't necessarily want to meet at a big table, but would rather have a big cell phone?
Yeah, we might have to do it. I think you just came up with a great idea. Why not offer digital tables? I think we need to come at wherever they are. How are they communicating? How are they communicating with each other? What is charging them to participate in our community? But we have to find out, and we have great colleges and universities here in our area. We should start there and talk to them and ask them how we're going to engage them more in this conversation.
Well, that was another concern actually, was education, and actually the need for more trade education as far as building up a workforce. Did that surprise you that that was listed as one of the things that concerned so many people?
I was very happy to see that. I was happy to see people being vocal about opportunities that exist in our region. Of course, we want all Quad citizens to pursue post-secondary education, but we need to change the language so people understand what that means. For example, we hear everyone needs to go to college. Well, college can be a certification. It can be a 2-year degree, it can be a 4-year degree on the way up through your PhD. But there are also opportunities to educate Quad citizens and to advance their careers, one of them specifically being the trades, apprenticeships, organized labor. That is a great way to get an education and get a career that will help advance our region, but also help Quad citizens settle into homes and to find jobs that they can have for a long time and eventually retire from.
And at the opposite end of the spectrum, more daycare, more preschool was also stated as a goal that the area should look at. I mean, that actually is an initiative that a lot of people have actually tried to tackle on, because if you can have better daycare, you free up more women to be able to pursue careers and advancement in their lives as well.
Sure, and when it comes to daycare, of course, having it be more accessible, but also having it ensure that it's 40 hours. Sometimes if it's not enough time, it's tough for a parent to go to work. And so we want to ensure that it can help work with the parent's schedule, but also, more importantly, offer the education that young people need. And like the United Way has shown us, we need them to be at an we need them to be reading at a proper level by the time they hit 3rd grade. And a lot of it starts with pre-K. But we also need to look at social issues that exist in our community. That was something that came up quite a bit. Are the opportunities that exist in our community equitable? When we're making decisions on how we're going to help communities and cities, especially in the urban core, are there equitable opportunities, and has it been an inclusive conversation so that we really understand the needs of our community? And that's why we have to continue these conversations, but also take action where we know we should take action.
Well, the other thing regarding the survey is also the geography of the surveys, because you showed where a lot of the people were commenting, and you saw a great deal of participation in Bettendorf, you saw it in Moline, and you saw it in parts of Davenport, but the west side of Davenport didn't seem to participate as much. East Moline didn't seem to participate as much. Did you notice that as well, and is that at all troubling? Because we've talked about gender and we've talked about age. We haven't really talked about the geography of the Quad cities.
Sure, the tables that were in East Moline, I participated in about 2 or 3 of them, including students from 8th grade at Glenview Middle School. There was workforce conversations. There was some happening at the library in East Moline. So I know that there was tables there. Now, west side of Davenport, I certainly did not meet there. I would like to meet there. And again, that's why this is helpful, is where are we missing it? Who are we missing in this conversation? And again, continue to push to bring people in. But we also have to ask, why hasn't there been excuse me, why hasn't there been inclusion? How come those communities or those side of towns do not feel empowered to partake or participate in these conversations? And we want to change that, because every Quad citizen matters. The ideas that have come are important ideas to lift our region, and any effort put forth by any Quad citizen, whether the West End or whatever side of the community they are, their efforts are important to our regional efforts, and we really want our Quad citizens to know that.
Because when we've seen big advancements in the Quad cities, I think the west side of Davenport does feel somewhat left out. And East Moline, up until recently, with the stuff they're doing along the riverfront and downtown renovations right now, they've been kind of the fifth wheel, so to speak, in the Quad cities. I mean, is that a big issue as far as the Chamber and the Q2030 program to advance those areas as well?
Sure. 2 things. One, we want all Quad citizens to feel empowered to show up. If they want to be a part of a dialogue, be it City Hall, be it Q2030, show up. If they want to see change, do it. We don't have to ask for permission. If you're going to try to improve our community for the better, just get it done. But also, those communities that maybe have not been at the conversation, I think of the West End and Davenport, they have really awesome and unique communities. The people there like each other, the people like where they live, and they're celebrating where they live. They're staying there, they're staying in their homes. What I would like to see Q2030 do, and we will, is how can we help empower those communities that maybe have felt left out? How do we create a more inclusive table, but empower those who are already doing, especially in those communities, to lift up their stories and share what they're doing, because a lot of great things are happening in both communities.
In your report, in the conclusion, you were talking about pretty much a roadmap, genuine pathways toward collaborative action. It sounds very touchy-feely language, but why is that critically important, and what does it really mean, genuine pathways?
I think it all, again, starts with inclusion. Is who has been at the table of conversation, who is deciding what needs to be done for what specific area for the region, but ensuring that we're building relationships, genuine relationships, we're really listening to people, and we're taking their ideas and we're trying to lift them and make them happen to improve our region. And so, because going back to the results, Quad citizens want to see collaboration in getting projects done for our entire region, be it a riverfront, be it a more vibrant downtown, creating a world-class education, but we have to do it all together, we have to be inclusive, share our ideas, and if everybody does a little bit, no one's going to have to do a lot.
Don't you see that the area is already doing that to a great extent? I mean, when I got here some 25 years ago, Davenport might rob employees from Hawk Island, which might rob them from Bettendorf, and there was this chess game between them, and it seems to be more collaborative. When you take a look at the education system, you could take a couple credits at Scott, you could transfer to Blackhawk, you can go to St. Ambrose and Augustana. It just seems that there is a great deal of collaboration, even with the Chamber of Commerce itself.
Absolutely, and it's awesome. Just today there was an internship workshop that was put on by all of our local colleges and universities, their career centers, showing local employers how to create internships. And it wasn't a competition between our colleges and our universities. It was a collaborative effort to say, our businesses and our nonprofits need some support in creating internships and opportunities for young people. Let's create a workshop together to make that happen. We really have come a long way over the past 25 years as working as a unit and being less competitive. Even when it comes to economic development, there's a non-compete clause where communities are going to talk to each other. If a business is going to leave the area or consider leaving the area to move another side of town, they're going to have to talk it out first, because again, we're working together as a region and we're not trying to compete with each other. We're trying to make it better for all Quad citizens.
Big table discussions were in April. You're already planning next April to do it again. What do you do between now and then?
We're going to, as a Q2030 steering committee and all those who are already involved, we're going to prioritize what was said at the big table. We want to set some goals as to what items can be accomplished within the next 12 months before our next big table. We also want to continue engaging with those tables that have continued to meet and see if we can't put them into some of the work groups that are already going on. And if it doesn't quite fit in one of the work groups, how do we empower those big table participants to continue doing the work that they're doing and allow Q2030 to help lift their profile and lift their story and gain more support from the Quad cities.
Key is just keep talking.
Acting. Those who have not yet talked, keep talking. Those who have already talked, let's start acting.
Greg Aguilar with the Chamber of Commerce, Q2030 Director. Thanks so much for joining me. We appreciate it.
Thanks, Jim.
Good luck in the weeks ahead, too. Still ahead, the man behind Beginner's Luck. What has brought a Hollywood scriptwriter to a theater stage in the cities? But first, a look at what's on the calendar if you and your friends want to go out and about. Here's Laura Adams with the details.
This is Out and About for July 30th through August 5th. Hi, I'm Laura Adams. It's time for the Great Mississippi Valley Fair opening July 31st, while the Bix Beiderbecke Memorial Jazz Festival returns to the Rhythm City Casino August 2nd through 4th. Catch the Bix Porch Party at the Davenport Library on August 2nd featuring Don Estes and the Prairie Ramblers. East Moline hosts the Freedom Run 5K August 2nd benefiting the USO, and bring your lawn chairs for Los Macabros performing at Mercado on 5th August 3rd. East Moline Music at Runner Park features Code 415 on the 29th. The Davenport Library presents a ukulele workshop and concert July 31st. The Moline Center Thursday Night Summer Concert Series at Bath Street Landing features Reckless Ruby and the Fire on the 2nd. The Muscatine County Arts Council presents an evening of music, laughter, and community featuring Jeff Barnhart August 5th at the Merrill Hotel, while Wesley United Methodist Church in Muscatine present the Jackson Concert Series Hot Jazz on the 31st. The German American Heritage Center present a summer zither concert August 5th at 2, and And the ABBA-solutely fabulous musical Mamma Mia continues at Circa 21, while Shrek, the musical tale of the big green ogre, an unlikely hero, takes the stage at the Quad City Music Guild. Plus, Beginner's Luck, an original comedy by P.J. Lasker, is the final show of the Mississippi Band Players season at the Bruner Theater. For more information, visit wqpt.org.
Thank you, Laura. Keith Soko is a unique person. Who else do you know who teaches Catholic moral theology, social justice, and religious ethics, and still finds time to compose and perform music on the stage? We caught up with Keith at downtown Moline's Black Box Theater, where he performed one of his original songs, Breaks Like China.
I was bad, I was mean, I was the only guy who could make the whole scene on my own. I was big, I was strong, I didn't need anybody till she came along on her own. But she walks out of my life and my heart breaks like china. Oh, breaks like china. Oh, breaks like. She said I didn't care, didn't listen, and when I did, I didn't hear her at all. Didn't see any signs, things were falling apart, but I must have been blind to them all. But she walks out of my life and my heart breaks like china. Oh, breaks like china. Oh, breaks like. Well, I really do love her, and I won't say goodbye. And I really do need her, but I'm not gonna cry. But there's some kind of feeling burning deep in my soul, and I don't want to ever let her go. Oh, ho. Now I'm here and she's there. It's not the best circumstance, I've left too much to chance, I'm alone. Was she right? Was I wrong? Well, I don't know, but if I don't move quick, she'll be gone and alone. But she walks out of my life and my heart breaks like china. Oh, breaks like china. Oh, breaks like.
Keith Soko at the Black Box Theater with Breaks Like China. It is hard to escape your past, especially when the highlight of your life may have been the years of your childhood. The Mississippi Band Players Theater Group is about to stage an original play called Beginner's Luck, centering on a child star whose fame is gone, and now so is his agent, his wife, and his self-esteem. It's written by a man who knows his way around a script. Joining us is P.J. Lasker, author of Beginner's Luck, also a writer and producer for the Golden Girls TV series, a writer on Barney Miller, my father's favorite, and the screenwriter, that is, of a movie that's now in production called The Man Who Saved Paris. It stars Stanley Tucci, it's Kristen Scott Thomas, and Tom Wilkinson. That's in production. That's exciting. Yeah.
That will go in production in a couple of months.
And
when I
that
finish
is
this.
going to be a big deal, but you've got a big deal here. What brings you to the Quad Cities?
Well, before I go on,
Yes.
the description of the play, it could be something that Eugene O'Neill did. It isn't. It's a comedy.
See, and that's
It's a comedy.
because what's interesting is that he's kind of, and correct me if I'm wrong, he's kind of arguing with himself, is he not?
Yes, he is. He's like most of us, we argue. That's where the best arguments take place inside our head. So that's what he does. And they're played by two brothers. And we see them both on stage. It's one person, but he's constantly arguing with himself. What should I do? Do you continue trying to get your fame back? Do you listen to your mother and try to find a real job? What do you do?
Now, you say it's a comedy, and once again, it is like, okay, this kid was successful a long time ago, you know, harder times now, and yet a comedy. When we start laughing at stuff like that, are we not somehow laughing at how it mirrors parts of our life?
I think we are.
Yeah.
I think the best laughs come from that almost embarrassment, going, my God, that's true. How did he know? Did they look in my bedroom? I just don't want to know about it. That's the comedy that gets you. It gets me to watch. So yes, I think it is.
Now you get to stage it in the Quad Cities, which is unusual. I mean, you're not of the Midwest.
No. It's the director, Phil McKinley, has been a friend of mine for a long time, and we worked together, and we developed this play together, I think 10 years ago. And he loves Augustana College, and he said, would you like to do it here this summer? And I said, yes, of course I would. And that's why I'm here, and I'm having one of the best experiences I've ever had in the business. And I've had some pretty good experiences.
Yeah, exactly.
But this has really been fun.
Do you always, because we were talking about the fact that you have such a rich television history, movie history as well, does something draw you to the theater? Because those are three very different genres as far as writing goes.
I think the theater, what they all offer you a chance to do something different. And I think what theater offers is you get to stretch your elbows a little bit. You get to delve a little deeper, because your movies, a scene will go on for 3 pages and then you move someplace else. Theater, a scene will go on 15 pages. So you have the time to really look at the characters, and you just have that set or a few sets, and so you attack it differently in the long term. But everything, writing is writing. It's getting the job done, getting accomplished what you want to get accomplished.
Well, but it's also because it's comedy writing. We're talking about The Golden Girl. We're talking about Barney Miller comedies.
Yeah.
You wrote jokes for Bob Hope. I mean, comedy writing isn't easy.
So somebody, the great Larry Gelbart, who created MASH,
right.
they said to him, is writing comedy easy? Is comedy writing hard? And he said, not if you can do it. Thank you, Larry. But I think, and in a way, if it's good comedy writing, like Danny Arnold did, producing Barney Miller, or Larry Gelbart did, you're being funny, and you're saying something underneath it. If you can do that, you've hit the home run. You're Joe DiMaggio. That's where you want to be.
So we've got, I think, 6 performances in the Quad Cities.
Yeah.
3 on the first weekend of August, 3 on the second weekend of August. Are you in the back listening to the crowd, where they respond, how they respond?
I will.
Why didn't they respond?
I've done that. I've done that on movies. You do that when you do TV, Golden Girls. And sometimes they don't respond because they're right. They shouldn't laugh, and I was wrong. Sometimes they just might not, I don't want to say not get it, but it doesn't it's an internal laugh. You know, those kind of laughs.
Yeah, exactly.
So, and you have to give that credit and you leave it alone and you say, if it works, it works.
Plus, it's so much, I would assume, is pacing, because you don't want to have too many jokes in a row because then something will be missed.
Some sitcoms, the worst sitcoms, used to have a rule of 3 jokes on a page.
That was a rule.
There was yeah, it wasn't written in stone, but everybody.
Okay, yeah.
Okay, I'm saying the bad ones. on Barney Miller, they used to say we take out jokes here. And they would take them out because if you care about the characters, and this is always, whether it's Barney Miller, whether it was Mary Tyler Moore, you don't have to go from joke to joke. You go, people love those people that they're watching.
Well, and so in beginner's luck, it is the characters.
It is the characters. It's also funny. But then we'll see, won't we?
Yeah, exactly. And you will see.
That's only one man's opinion.
PJ Lasker is the man. Beginner's Luck hits the stage at Augustana College's Brunner Theater next weekend, August 3rd through the 5th, and the weekend after that. Check out the Mississippi Bend Players website for tickets. Thank you so much for joining us. We appreciate it.
Thank you.
WQPT is doing its part to support the military men and women in the cities who are serving our nation. We call it Embracing the Military. And the Army MWR is encouraging people on Arsenal Island to not only be physically fit, but financially fit as well. In August, a week's worth of free financial classes is being offered during the lunch hour at Building 110 on the island. It starts Monday, August 13th, with a session to help you understand your credit report. You can get more information by contacting the Arsenal's MWR office. On the air, on the radio, on the web, and on your mobile device. Thanks for taking some time to join us. We talk about the issues on the cities.
Public Affairs programming on WQPT is brought to you by the Sing Group at Merrill Lynch, serving the wealth management needs of clients in the region for over 25 years.